Hey, welcome back to Fixing Things. Hey, today is Holley carburetors. Man, we got Holley carburetors. I got a Holley carburetor on my Pinto, and I got one on the Haul truck out here. And it's not running right. Now, we just put that carburetor on the Haul truck. Forgive my wife, she's out here mowing the lawn. And it's one of them Chinese carburetors, but I'm not blaming that. The carburetor we pulled off, I'm glad we put the new carburetor on, that's what I'm saying. Anytime you buy a brand new carburetor, and I don't care if it's Chinese or what, when you buy a Holley carburetor or a Chinese counterpart carburetor, it rarely ever works right out of the box perfectly. And it's not adjustments that needs to be done. It's jetting and power valves and stuff like that, and adjustments. A lot of people switch to carburetors like Edelbrock and stuff like that because they tend to work fairly good out of the box. But I know from experience, once the Holley carburetor is adjusted and running right, it is superior than the other ones. So today, we're going to show you step by step how to set a Holley carburetor and rejet it and put power valves in it so that it runs perfect for your vehicle on this episode of Fixing Things. And it is hot today. Whew. First thing I got to do is we got to get this thing warmed up. It ain't going to take long today. And pull it in front of the garage. Now the idle circuit on the Haul truck works great. It's like right off throttle, right off idle, it wants to bobble in the mid-range power. So that's telling me one thing, it's leaning out when it needs to either maintain or slightly accelerate. And if I'm pumping the pedal, it works okay. And if I mash the pedal to the floor, I'm getting wide open throttle. Starts right up. All right, the Haul truck is over here warming up, and while it's doing that, I'm gonna show you what we're gonna use. So I got me a vacuum gauge. Had to buy me a new one because I can't find my old one. Years and years ago, last time I used one. Probably let somebody borrow it, and I haven't got it back. I'm gonna use a timing light, an old style timing light, just a regular old timing light. We're gonna use a socket to get the bowl off, and maybe adjust some of the other stuff on it. Maybe even a heavy 2 pair of heavy pliers and some screwdrivers. We're gonna need some jets, because I know we need some jets, and some power valves. You only need one power valve. More than likely, if you ordered your carburetor correct for the size of your motor, the power valve you have is probably correct. But we're gonna test it, because not all motors are the same. So usually what happens when you buy a Holley carburetor, you buy it for the cubic inches of your engine. So most, like Holley 600s and 650s, are made anywhere from a small block Chevy to a small block Ford. This is an FT engine, which is a commercial engine. Even though it's only a 359, this is the same motor like 427s and stuff like that on Fords. I think she's good and warm. Oh yeah, we're up. Turn it off for now. We got enough noise. My wife over there, she loves cutting the grass. She loves cutting the grass. So before we can really tune the carburetor, we have to make sure that the ignition system is working properly. And there's a few components to the ignition system that we need to check. And I don't know why I came over on this side. One is the mechanical advance, making sure the mechanical advance is working. The next one is the vacuum advance. Is the vacuum advance working? So this carburetor is a little tricky. It has a built-in governor in it. Now we disconnected that from the old carburetor, so that should be not working. But it has a it has a grease port on it right here, where you're supposed to every now and then throw some oil down in this thing. It's old school. And so Ford didn't change their governor system on their big systems until they started getting with electronic ignition. So all the way back from 1960s through the probably 1980 something, they used the same ignition for the big trucks we had, the governors on the gas motors. On their, at least I know that on their FT engines. The FT engine is very similar to an FE engine, except it's got some differences to it. And they changed the cubic inches around in them. Also, the FT engines have a hardened nodular steel crankshaft, which is a lot better than an old cast iron crankshaft, which is the same type of crankshaft they use on the race 427 engines. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of the technology for the race engines, like in the Cobra engines and stuff like that they used, came out of the heavy truck industry. And that's the difference between the regular car engine and the race engine, is it got some of the components from the heavy truck industry. So what we want to do is, first we'll get the air cleaner out of the way. Alright, so I took the air cleaner off, and you can see that the carburetor, she's brand new. She's only, since it's been on there, driven probably 4 times. I took her to work and back a couple times. I found a gas leak in it. Ended up at the top of the float bowl adjustment was not tightened up from the factory. And my wife said, "I smell gasoline." So lo and behold, she was pouring out gas out the top of the float bowl. But it's not. When I had it, since it was loose and leaking, I went ahead and adjusted the float bowl there. I'll show you how I did that when we get to that part. But right now we're on the ignition system, and on the ignition system, we want to take the cap off, and we want to inspect the mechanical advance. And the way I do it is I just rotate and see if the mechanical advance moves. So this is an internal mechanical advance, and you see that if this goes like this, the springs are pulling it back, but it sticks. See that? So the mechanical advance is sticking. Now we need to adjust now we need to check the vacuum advance also. So we'll pull it off the carburetor and put it to my lips and see if we get it to move. So you can see, and we're going to leave that off because we got to put a little, out of breath already. to adjust the, so it's really hot. My ticker's still bad, so bear with me. So we see that the vacuum advance seems to work good. It's pulling the plate out good. So there's not a problem there. The next thing is why is the mechanical advance not pulling back? So I think we need to go ahead and try lubricating that. So first I'm going to use some PB Blaster, see if I can get it loosened up. But this is not a good lubricant to keep it lubed. We'll probably use something like engine oil or some kind of grease or something, rear axle grease. But we're going to spray it down into the carburetor, down into the thing, but we don't want to get it on the points. So just put it in there. I'm gonna hit that oil hole lube thing too. Put a little bit up in here. Try not to get it on the points because your points will foul out. Now let's see if we can get this thing to move a little bit better. See, it's already coming back. See that? Where it was sticking. That's probably some of my acceleration issues right there. All right, so we'll get a little regular oil and put down in there also. All right, I think there's some left of my brake-in oil. I'm gonna pour that right down into it. We'll let that absorb in there for a little bit. We'll also test, now that it's been lubricated, to see if this vacuum is working better. Oh, it's working perfect. It was a little dragging too. Now let's check the rotor button. See if the mechanical, look, it's not sticking anymore. See that? Oh, she's working smooth. So believe it or not, when you're tuning your carburetor, your ignition system is part of your tuning process for your carburetor. If the ignition system is not working right, the carburetor is not going to work right. It all works together. The vacuum system and everything, the carburetor, the ignition, all of it has to be right. So now we know the mechanical advance is going to work, which is more important than the vacuum advance. There's a big controversy going on about ported vacuum or manifold vacuum. Manifold vacuum is going to pull advance on your ignition timing right at idle, okay? Depending on how you want your ignition system to run in its advanced stage, okay? Ported vacuum is going to be running off only the mechanical timing up to a certain RPM or vacuum range. So from the factory, it came ported. This is not a race car. This is a truck for drivability. We're going to keep it on the vacuum side. So we're going to get some brake clean and clean off any oil that might have got on the parts where the sparks go. Don't want oil on the spark parts. Just gonna pull the rotor button off. And I can see I did get some oil on there accidentally. We're gonna take brake clean and just hit the points in the electric connections. And you want to have oil on your little cam thing in there. Let that breathe out because that stuff is flammable. But now we should have good contact. We should have good oil. Still, yeah. See, she's still working good. All right, we're gonna let that air out a little bit, and then we're gonna go on to the next thing, because we want to make sure the truck is going to run now that we oiled up the distributor. It can be pretty frustrating. You're sitting there trying to get this thing to run, and the oil has fouled up the sparks. They do make dielectric grease and dielectric oil that doesn't mess with it, but I'm not that fancy. I like just good old oil. All right, let's see if this thing will run. Sat for a few minutes. Brake clean is very dries up extremely fast. Let's see if it starts. Burn like a kitten. All right, so now that we got hooked all the vacuum advance, everything back up, let's hit the throttle. So it's accelerating, so that means the accelerating pump is working. So on this next part, we need the engine running, and we're going to use the brake clean. And you want to make sure that your brake clean is flammable. Some products are flammable and some are not. And what I'm going to do is we're going to squirt the base of the carburetor down. First, I'm going to spray the top of the carburetor to see what it acts like. You can hear it accelerate a little bit. So now let's spray the vacuum hoses. Overspray into the carburetor. So it looks like our vacuum lines are pretty good. We'll check the back side of the carburetor and over by the PVC valve. All right, we may have a vacuum leak on the base plate. Let me go around the other side of the carburetor, where I can get to it a little better. All right, let's try it again. Vacuum leak. Not good. Let's see if I can't pinpoint exactly where it's at. All right, so I got a serious vacuum leak on the base plate. So I think I'll pull the carburetor off and see if we can't fix that, because you're not going to get the carburetor to run right unless there's no vacuum leaks. All right, so on inspection, I took a picture of it, and it's right here. And you'll notice that I put some that vacuum port that's there on the back of the carburetor. I smashed it, cut it off short in my installation video, and I put some JB Weld on it. So it looks as if the JBL, when it cured, didn't seal that hole. So I think I got to do something to seal that hole before we can move on. Man, it's hot. All right, we got the back of the carburetor sealed up. I put a little bit more JB Weld on it. You can see it right here. And that joker is sealed up tight now, so we don't have to worry about that. The next thing we need to do is make sure that the float bowl is at the right height, because the float bowl will also cause your carburetor to run lean or rich. If the float is too high, it will run rich. If it's too low, it could run lean. And the way you check it on carburetors is, I'll show you here in 1 second when I get up into the motor. So here's my float bowl, and you can see the gas is right in the midline. Now my truck is sitting at a little bit of an angle. When I adjusted, it was on flat ground and was adjusted right to the bottom of the float bowl, which is right. And the way you do it is by loosening the top screw. And if you want the float bowl to go down, you adjust this nut clockwise, and that brings the float bowl down. If you want the float bowl to go up, bring this fluid up, you turn it the other way. Then you torque it back down with the set screw. So and you have to do this while the engine is running. And the next one, we're gonna check the timing. So we're gonna go ahead and pull that vacuum from the carburetor to the vacuum advance off, and just put a plug on that so we don't have no vacuum leak. And then we're going to hook up a timing light. But right now, I'm going to go inside and get me a glass of water while that JB Weld is hardening, because if I start it, it's going to pull some of it back in, and it's not going to tighten. It's not going to seal up that hole. So we want that JB Weld to be cured before we do that. So I'll be back in a moment. For you, it's going to be just a few seconds. And we'll have the timing light and everything hooked up. And I'll show you how to hook up a timing light. All right, I hooked up the timing light. And I was going to show you how to do it all. You hook it positively to the battery, negatively to the battery. And you wrap this thingamajiggy around the spark plug cable for the #1 cylinder. When you press this button, the light should come out, but my bulb was burned out. I can say, since I plugged up the JB Weld on the back side of the carburetor, the vacuum leak, she's running a whole lot better. I think we'll go ahead and assume that the timing is right. You know what they say when you assume. We're going to go on to adjusting some of the carburetor stuff. We'll start with the air adjustments and the idle adjustments. She's sounding really good. That probably was my problem. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn the idle screw down some. Should be making that Hoochie Daddy sound. All right, we'll start with the air screw on this side. We'll go in a little bit. you hear it bobble, back it off till it stops. Let's go the other way a little bit, check it out. Bobbling. Right there. So now let's check the other side. Do the same thing to it. I think we fixed the carburetor. I think it was me not doing a good job on the JB Weld the first time. Okay, right in there is where she's happy. She's still running smooth even though we got the idle way down. All right, next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna check the vacuum on everything. I'm gonna shut it off, hook up the vacuum gauge, and we'll start it up. All right, so here's my vacuum gauge. I haven't used one of these things in years. You hook this up to the manifold vacuum, not the ported vacuum. I'm still running the distributor unplugged, so it's not going to get no advance in it. And then we're going to see what this says. So you got right here, it says from almost like from 18 to 24-ish. That's normal, right? 18 to 24-ish is normal vacuum. Then it says a late ignition timing, that 15, right in that 15 area. Then it doesn't show nothing in that center section. And then I need to put my glass on because I really can't see. Late valve timing or leak at the intake manifold. And that's what we had before. And I think we got that fixed. So it pretty much tells you what's going on. So in this range right here, so 15, 16, 7, from 17 to 22 shows where it should be in normal. So once you have your carburetor pretty much dialed in, this will tell you whether your power valve is right or not. So we know that the power valve that comes with this carburetor is a 0.5. So that means that the manifold vacuum should be around 10. Now, according to this, 10 is too low. So let's see what this is. If the manifold vacuum is 10, then it says I still have a vacuum leak. All right, so let's test it. I'll hook it up. All right, so I got the vacuum gauge hooked up to the manifold vacuum, and these industrial motors tend to pull more vacuum because they have their low compression dish pistons. They're made to run in the lower RPM range. So we are pulling right about 22 units of vacuum. So that tells me the power valve that's in this unit is not opening soon enough, which will also make a lean out. So I have another power valve. It's not quite big enough. So the way you do it, let me go turn the truck off. So we know we're at 22. All right, so the way the power valves work is whatever vacuum you have, right? You divide it in half. So if you have 22, that'd be a 12, a number 12 power valve. I think I have, and the one that's in this is a 5. So we're going to install a number 8 in it. Reason why, because I didn't think it was going to be that high, so I bought a number 8. But before I do that, I want to take a test drive on the truck now to see if we lost any, because now that we have more vacuum, because we fixed the vacuum leak on the back of the carburetor like a dummy. I should have had that done a long time ago. I want to test where it's bobbling at. So there's 2 ways for the bobbling to work, and that is if the accelerator pump on the side of the carburetor is got slack in it, or your jets are not big enough. But since I had a vacuum leak, it's up in the air. It could be running a lot better. Regardless, it needs a bigger power valve. But before I open the carburetor up, I want to test run the engine and see if it's running any better. Because maybe the jets are okay. If it seems like the jets are okay and the power valve is still a little weak, then we'll put the power valve in. Power valve, usually when the vacuum drops, it opens it up, right? So I know it's too weak because it wasn't opening till it was wide open throttle before. So I know it's weak. And with the vacuum we're having now, to drop it down to about 5 to open it, it's gonna take wide open throttle because these engines pull a lot of vacuum. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drive the truck now and test it. All right, let's see if this thing's running any better. Now we still are gonna put that other power valve in. That power valve is definitely better than the power valve that's in here because this is a number 5 and that one is a lot higher number of power valve. So at 22, we should have had a 12, but I know it's not a 12. I think it's an 8.5 or something like that. All right, let's see. Should start right up. Nice. Definitely running smoother. It's even quieter. Make sure that radio is not going to play. All right, let's put this thing in reverse. Hopefully I didn't leave nothing under the hood. And hopefully she doesn't bobble. I'm thinking she still will a little bit. I can tell already it's a lot better. You guys are shaking all over the place. Yeah, she's still bobbling. We'll get her out on a smooth road. Test it is pull out your choke a little bit, and if it smooths out, you need more fuel. lot better though. I doubt if it has any more vacuum leaks. We're pulling 22 pounds of vacuum, and the needle was smooth. Like when it accelerates hard, that's the power valve opening up. And it doesn't do it till it's wide open throttle. All right, definitely it's running a lot better. It's actually drivable. Before it would just bobble, the engine would bobble. It was starving for fuel before. And when you pull the choke out, it richens it up, right? So it's one where you either got a vacuum leak, which will spray some more carb stuff on it, and two, the main jets are still too small, and the vacuum power valve is definitely the wrong size, because it's not hitting till wide open throttle. So power valves or is really determined by preference where you want it. Like drag racers will want it to right around 3/4 throttle, somewhere right in there. Some guys like it at wide open throttle. It just gives you that extra boost at wide open throttle, and you can dial your primary jets back so you can save in fuel mileage. But when you're driving a truck, you want that low end torque. So you want it rich, well, not rich, but richer than this. It needs to be rich enough so when you're just putting the throttle on, right? Right now, when the squirters are squirting, soon after it squirts, it starts to bobble. The jets are not picking up. So the jets they lag between the accelerator pump. The accelerator pump is like supposed to be instantaneous fuel as the throttle plates are opening. And the main jets have a lag in it because the vacuum has to build up to pull the fuel through. So the RPMs are not there yet. So let's get the front of that carburetor off and see if we can do some more tuning on this thing. All right, so we got to get these 4 bolts out, pull the carburetor bowl off, and this is the piece we want. This is called the metering block, and the metering block has the power valve and the 2 jets on it. We'll get that out. Supposedly these are replaceable gaskets. If not, I have some more. All right, we got the 4 bolts loose, and it does have reusable gaskets. That one's still catching. There we go. And we'll just see if we can pull this to the point where we can get this piece off. All right. Don't break the gaskets. There we go. Keep that in the right direction. And we'll take this over where we can work on it. Here we go. Yeah, it's kind of made like a performance one. All right, so the carburetor came with a 205 number and a 195 number. And it doesn't say what these are, but normally they're like a 165 to a 175 in size. Now this is a Chinese carburetor. I pulled this one out and it's a lot bigger than this one, so I'm saying this is probably a 165 probably, or 175. That's a 195, and this is a 205. And the 195 is quite a bit larger than this one. So I think we'll do the 195 in there, and we'll test that out and put the other power valve in it. So my power valve, which I just lost, I just had it. Here it is. I was mistaken. It's a 7.5. Okay, this is a genuine Holley. So it's Chinesium, and you can see it's made different. But according to the thing, it's a 0.5. Now I'm noticing on the emulsion tubes, this one has a insert and this one does not. I'm not sure what that is about. But we're gonna go ahead and change the power valve and put one size bigger jets in it, because I know she's wanting more fuel. All right, we'll start with the jets. That came out, that was pretty decent, wasn't real tight. Some people say go up 2 sizes. That's 2 numbers. That's way more than 2 numbers just on the first set. Let's take the 195 and compare it. Like I said, these came with it. So I don't know if you can see it. But this jet here is a lot larger than this jet. So let's put these new ones in. It doesn't seem to like its own threads. It came with the carburetor. And the same size screwdriver that I used to take the other ones off doesn't fit. There we go. I'm going to put these back in the bag so I don't lose them. And I'll have to pin these to see what they are. And I don't have a pin kit. I used to have all that stuff back in the day. I don't have none of that stuff anymore. All right, power valve time. All right, I did not have a socket that would fit this thing. It's definitely some kind of oddball size. But I got the American metric wrench. And we'll compare the 2 power valves. It does not have the drill out, so it's got the stock size orifices for metering the power valve. And here's the Chinese and here's the American. All right, so definitely there's a big difference in the two. This one is like really sloppy. So it's open when there's no vacuum on it, and vacuum pulls it shut. This one should be stiffer because it takes more vacuum. This one's also adjustable. If you can see here, it's adjustable. I don't know if the other one's adjustable or not. It is not, or yeah, maybe it is. And you can see that one is designed to let a lot of fuel through. And this one is designed not to, but it doesn't make a difference because the two holes that are right there is what determines how much fuel is going to go through it or not. All right, the new one threads in perfect. All right. Now we just got to get this bad boy back together. This only goes on one way, goes this way. It'll either work or it won't work, that's all I know. I gotta go get the ratchet again so we can tighten these things up. All right. Get all the bolts through the holes. And everything is still blistering hot. Just want to let you know. Whew, that's hot. All right. All the gas is done evaporated. Let me get the ratchet, tighten this up. They had it way tighter than it needed to be, that's for sure. All right, so the fuel bowl is empty, so the truck's not going to start, and it pulls fuel up better when the float bowl is primed. And what we're going to be looking for once we get the motor started is leaks. So we'll put some good old fuel in it. I don't know how much it's going to take. That's probably enough to get it started. A little bit down in the throat. And let's get it started, then we'll check that float bowl thingy. Alright, now we'll check for leaks. Check throttle response. I didn't make sure the accelerator pump was underneath the lever. I'm going to shut it off so it ain't getting so hot. I think you might be able to squeeze it up and pull it down underneath there. Let me get a pair of needle nose. So we're going to pull it out and make it right, then readjust it. Okay, I got the accelerator pump back underneath the thing, and I adjusted the lever rod where there's no plate on top of it, and I guess it's time for another test drive. Check that side, make sure there ain't no leaks. All right, let's take it for another test drive. I'm getting wore out. I can feel the tension on my heart. I got to get inside where it's cool. But I got to test drive the truck out. Next Tuesday, this is the Monday before, so next Tuesday, I'm getting my new heart valve put in. So please pray for me. The doctor doesn't want me doing anything. If I don't do anything, how am I going to work on the me-haul truck? Oh, the doctor just doesn't seem to quite understand the importance of the me-haul truck, right? I mean, it's the me-haul truck. Atomic batteries to power. Starts right up. I think the accelerator is accelerating. All right. Test drive commencing. Oh yeah, I can tell already. That's a big difference. Don't run into the trees. Me, I'll try to push the trees over. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Start off in second gear. We'll see what she does. And I didn't use any choke. So far, no bobbling. We're on a bumpy road, so the fuel's sloshing in the thingamajiggy fuel bowl. If we get it on a smooth road, we'll be able to really tell. The mid-throttle response seems to be a lot better. I had to let Miss Nancy by. She was scared. The me-haul truck was big. Everybody on my road's relatives. Whoa! Yes! Unbelievable. That's top gear. It's night and day. I mean, I think we got it fixed. It still may be a little on the lean side. But I think we got it. We'll get it out on the bigger road. We'll try to choke test on full throttle. Nah, we're good. All it did was bog down when I pulled the choke out. I love this truck. I've owned this truck for a long, long time. Even when I didn't own it, I really owned it because it was still in my name. According to the DMV, I've owned this truck for 40-something years. I'm the second owner. Only one who owned it before me was U-Haul. Alright, let's see. Oh man, perfect! pipes too. Before I put it away, I'll check make sure there ain't no carburetor leaks. I think we fixed it. So like I said, in a couple weeks we'll check the spark plugs. We'll see if she's running lean or rich. She might still be a little bit lean on the jets. But I think she's livable. All right, we made it back to the homestead. Running really, really good. I am pleased with it. Got a lot of people beeping at me. Maybe some of my fans, maybe. All two of you guys. Now, with an AFR meter, it's probably easier to get the air fuel mixture right. For years, racers and mechanics been doing it by just looking at the, I don't smell no gas. Looking good. My phone's hot. My camera's hot. But I got to get inside. I'm hot. I can feel the tension on me. But I'm happy. The Holley truck is drivable. Oh, I'm gonna clean the mess up tomorrow. Oh. So when you're adjusting the power valve, you put your vacuum on, and whatever it is, you divide it by 2, and that's the size power valve you use. On your main jets, if you're just barely putting pressure on it without trying to use the accelerator pump, if it bobbles, then your jets are too small. And you got to go, they say goes 2 sizes bigger. According to the jets I got, that's way more than 2 sizes bigger what I just did. And it's almost 4 sizes bigger for the other ones. So, no, I think we got it. If she's running a little bit lean or rich, then we'll make adjustments then. But she's running good. Running real good. Hey, pray for me. I'm going under the knife next Tuesday to get a heart valve put in. I got to get in the AC. Got to close this video out. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Remember, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. God blessed me today. And we got the Holley truck running really good. Whew, thank you, Lord. All right. I will see you next time on fixing, which is going to be a while because I'll probably be disposed of. I may not be able to work for a couple weeks. So I may be inside just watching, Jurassic Park on the TV or something, or old things of Lost in Space. You never know. God bless you. I'll see you on the next Fixing Things with Pastor Bill. Man, that Holley truck looks good. It runs good too now. Woo! Thank you, Lord.